Hi, all my Virgo friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today to talk about some of the trends that are going to be happening in the skies for 2023 that are actually going to tee up movement into 2024, 25, and even beyond. And so what I'm going to do here today is talk about Saturn's transit into Pisces, Pluto's dipping its toe into Aquarius, Jupiter's move into Taurus, and then the change of the nodes and how this is, what houses and how this is going to directly affect Virgo rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. I say moon before I say sun because I believe that the human manifests on its emotional body. If we feel bad, if we feel depressed, even when we have bounty around us, it can color and cloud how we perceive our world. So I think this is very important to pay attention to your moon sign. If you don't know your moon sign, you need your time of birth and your location of birth, and you can find it out on any one of the free natal chart calculators on the internet. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going by whole sign Western astrology. I think when I'm talking to a collective, that's the best way to approach it. When I do a personal reading, I look at your chart in Placidus because there are fine details in the house structure and the degrees. So anyway, all right, so let's jump. Saturn is going to move into your 7th house of partnerships. Saturn is going to move in on March 8th, 2023, and will remain there until May 23rd, 2025. Initially, when we think about Saturn, we think about boundaries, limitations, restriction, authority, government, structure, building things. We get this sort of feeling Saturn isn't quite emotional. And while I don't think Saturn is demonstrative in its emotion, I do believe that Saturn is strongly emotional because Saturn doesn't react to the moment, but keeps its eye on the prize. What's the goal? So here we're going to see Saturn in your 7th house of partnerships. So there's going to be some, what I want to say, a building of partnerships. And this is not just marriage partners, but professional partnerships as well. The 7th house by nature rules contractual commitments, diplomacy, harmony, peace, and cooperation, as well as being civil and diplomatic. I think of Libra as the manners house, where we really learn how to express ourselves and use our manners to engage others. So here we're seeing Saturn come into this house. And Saturn is saying, how are you building your partnerships? Are you building them on a strong foundation? Because the house Pisces by nature is very imaginative and fanciful, and it rules creativity and I just said imagination. It rules poetry and dance and music. It also rules illusion, and it rules escapism, and it rules addiction, and it rules hospitals and where we spend time alone. It rules the bedroom and our literal dream time. Pisces also rules our ancestral connection and karma to the other side. And when I say karma, karma is not about punishment or about reward. Karma is about choices. So here, Virgo is going to get an opportunity within its 7th house sector to really assess and determine if the partnerships you're creating, if the business endeavors you're creating are really aligned to your deeper truth, or if in some way they are not. Virgo and Pisces is cooperative in that both feel like they are in some ways related to our health, because again, Pisces rules hospitals, mental hospitals, research laboratories, traditional hospitals, and Virgo naturally rules our health and our mental health and our stress, as well as service. So now what I want to do is I want to really encourage my Virgos to come into partnership in a way where you start to focus in on what you bring to the table versus what is expected of you. Pisces is compassionate, Pisces is empathetic. And when we imprint the Virgo energy on that, it could inadvertently be intuitive about what other people's expectations are of you and your duty to them, your service to them. And I think this is an opportunity to create balance in that area. I think that what we'll see is Saturn sort of anchoring in where normally the Pisces energy wants to swim away, and Virgo being naturally ruled by Mercury, you could potentially, Saturn is going to anchor you in a way where you don't just get a little bit of information, you stay in a situation long enough to garnish a lot of information so that you can make a really informed and wise decision about how you want to move forward in partnerships. We have Pluto. Well, let me back up a second because I do want to talk about a couple of the body parts that's Saturn rules and Pisces rules. Saturn rules the skeleton, rules bones, joints, and our teeth. We have Pisces, which rules the liquids of the body, our mucus, our blood, the lymphatic system, and our immune system. Neptune, which governs Pisces, rules the oceans, rules the seas, rules the currents underneath what the eyes can see. So I want to encourage you to be mindful of how I'm going to go into the 6th house with Pluto moving into Aquarius, your 6th house. So this is coming into partnership with your body in some respects. This is allowing you to kind of look at this Saturn in Pisces as giving you the determination to assess the partnerships that you're in and if they are contributing to your peace of mind, your harmony, which is then contributing to your health. Pisces can absorb toxic energy. And now we have Saturn here kind of being rigid about what is it that I really want to engage in and absorb. Saturn is going to bring in the reality, and Pisces by nature is going to bring in the fanciful part of it. So there's a combination. It feels a little jarring in the sense that you could have your fantasies squelched, but if those fantasies, if those imaginations, if those musings were really settled on some sort of challenging vibration, meaning your belief system wasn't really aligned with your talk, you're going to find yourself in a bit of a wobble. And I think that Saturn is going to offer an opportunity to stand firmly and with the fog cleared when it comes to, are my partnerships serving me in a way that feels like an even exchange of energy, or at least close to an even exchange of energy. See what else I have in my notes here for you, Virgo. Oh, I know. Now I want to talk about some of the things that are going to happen outside in the world around us. There is the potential that throughout this year that we will see more restrictions when it comes to, or regulations around things to do with the medical industry, around education, around financial industries. I'm feeling like Saturn representing big organizations and the influence they have over our personal lives in implementing structures that try to address the whole, but sometimes kind of miss the individual. So I would be actually surprised if we don't get a little bit disillusioned with some of the structures that we have seen and that represent traditional historic dynamics. And as they crumble, in order to build new structures that are more aligned to balance, again, 7th house balance and harmony, it can get a little disruptive. One of the exciting things I think might happen is we might see over the next year more focus on exploring our oceans, building sustainable structures in the ocean that will allow us to do our research. Humans can't get too deep. I've heard it said that we know more about Mars than we do about the oceans of our own planet. So I think what we're going to see is structures that are built both above and below the oceans And we are going to end up discovering ancient civilizations, the potentials of evidence that there is life beyond the Earth experience. And also, I think we're going to see more information about extraterrestrial life, evidence of it, and old ancient structures, like not just like Titanic and pirate ships, which I think we'll find, but also civilizations that represent thriving and potentially like Atlantis and Lemuria. So I think this is kind of exciting. Ultimately, Saturn's journey through Pisces is about mastering our spirituality and building it in the 3D world where it feels tangible and solid. Pisces represents living our dreams, and Saturn represents devotion to building structure. So I think this is really powerful. And if anybody can do that, it would be Virgo. Now let's talk about Pluto moving into Aquarius. It's only going to tip its toe into Aquarius this year from March 23rd to June 11th. It's going to remain at the critical 0 degree for that entire period of time. So I think we're going to be birthing epiphanies, these sort of lightning bolt ideas, this, really start to look at ourselves in a way that brings in the collective, the conscious cosmic collective is the way I want to put it. I don't know if I'm saying that right, because I believe that being in your 6th house, this is the house again of service. It's your natural house. It's the house of health. It's the house of my work and my enslavement. So here, I think Pluto is going to offer a liberation for you. And I think it's going to start first with sort of these experiences that illuminate and kind of put a spotlight on things that you want. And it's going to sort of trigger this, what about me and what about now? And if indeed I am endeavoring something new and different, how does my happiness support my health in general? Pluto rules power, control, that which is hidden underneath. So another thing you may discover is parts of yourself that are imprinted with things that from your childhood, belief systems, dynamics about who and what you are and your value that you may have thought were not really relevant or in play right now, and yet they're sitting in that underneath, that psychological underneath place that prevents what you want from actually manifesting in the real world. So this first few months feels as if it's like a self-discovery, as if for the first time you're looking at yourself and you're like, wait a minute, maybe it's about me. Maybe it isn't about everybody else. Maybe it isn't about always providing service for someone else. Maybe when I take care of me, I actually take care of others. This is a very revolutionary energy, Pluto in Aquarius. And Pluto is going to be in Aquarius, I think, until 2044. When it makes its final journey into Aquarius, the beginning of 2024, it will stay there for 20 years. So we are going to see a real shift in how humans live their lives. We're very much going to see the digital age become the commonplace. We are going to see things time appear to speed up. And all of this is going to affect you in your house of work and give you an opportunity, if indeed you choose to endeavor your own entrepreneurship. I believe that many, many humans will actually be the masters of their own financial domain as a result of their skills rather than going to brick and mortar jobs. I think this Aquarian age that we're coming into, we're going to see a lot more technology that takes over sort of routine jobs. We saw ATMs coming in at the end of the 20th century, which took care of automatic deposits that were easy. We have the iRobot vacuuming our floors now. And I think that's going to migrate into the workplace as well. So the idea that Pluto goes into Aquarius is going to bring hidden information to the surface. It's going to illuminate out of balance dynamics, which is going to really bring a light in general to civil rights, to how we treat each other as human beings. And it's also going to bring to light the misuse of information across the internet. I also believe that moving forward, we're going to get a glimpse into technology in a way that is going to seem very sci-fi. I believe that there is technology right now being developed to create holographic meetings, and there is I think I heard someone saying they're already developing flying cars, which is interesting. And when Uranus moves into Gemini, we'll get a glimpse of that in July through November 2025. That's when things are going to start to go really, really fast, because Pluto will be firmly in Aquarius. Uranus will go into Gemini, which rules the media, rules the internet, not the internet, but the communications over the internet. So the combination of these two things is going to be revolutionary. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the colonization of Mars at that point. But anyway, we'll see when we get there. I also think the good news is that people will start to find their soul tribes. They'll start to create communities that are beyond the structures that we have traditionally thought of that might create tensions for us. I think we're going to start to do our philosophies align. We're going to start to measure each other, not by our bank accounts, but by the integrity of our character and how we show up in the world. So I think this is all very exciting. The other thing that I think we're going to see when Pluto moves into Aquarius, we're going to get a glimpse of the laws of attraction and the divine laws of the universe really starting to take hold on how we manifest. Traditionally, Saturn is going to say work hard, but the human is defining how that looks. And as I have been on this planet, I realize that maybe the hard work is continuing to align to the thoughts that support what I want to experience versus the imprint of what the humans have done for my sense of manifestation as I have evolved, or as I have aged, as I have seasoned on this planet. So we are really going to see people start to, key into dynamics like the teachings of Abraham, the teachings of The Secret. And that, I think, is where the real revolution comes in. Now, in May, we will see Jupiter move into Taurus. Right now, Jupiter is in Aries. That is your 8th house. So you're going through transformation. I'm sorry. Yes. Jupiter in Aries is in your 8th house. So you're going to be going through this transformation. But when Jupiter moves into Taurus in your 9th house, I believe this is where you're going to really get to start to anchor in new beliefs. This is going to be about a year stint starting May 16th, 2023 and go into May 24th, 2024. I think overall, what we're going to see is an expansion of self-reliance, sustainable products and services that support the earth and its continued good health. We're going to have a re-examination of the family influences on us, and if they are in some ways holding us back. And that's where I think the Pluto in Aquarius starts to blow that stuff up. So I think it's going to be super exciting. And I want to offer this too, because the 9th house traditionally rules foreign travel, education, higher education, philosophy, the questions, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? And I think the idea that this is Jupiter happening in your 9th house is really going to start to maybe blow the socks off of some things that up until now have made you feel unsure of yourself, or not really confident in how others will value you. And here I think it's going to kind of have a reversal where you're going to start to say, well, what about me? What about me valuing me? So, I mean, this is pretty exciting. And finally, in July, on the 18th, we will see the North Node move into Aries and the South Node move into Libra until January 2025. This is going to be in your 8th and 2nd houses. Virgo, this is all about money. What you have discovered as Saturn is going through your 7th house of partnerships, where you're dipping your toe into Pluto's entry into Aquarius in your house of work, Jupiter bringing up your belief system and how do you believe in your own skills, and what do you really want for yourself? And this is about kind of removing outside influences, is going to give you an opportunity when the nodes shift to go through complete transformation in money and how you make your money and your resources. The 8th house is about other people's money. The 2nd house is about the skills that you use. It's also about the influence other people have over us. The 8th house can be about power and control. It's naturally ruled by Pluto. And then the 2nd house is naturally ruled by Venus, and Taurus holds that energy. So here, I think you're going to start to discover your voice in a new way, to realize that being of service to others on their agenda is not always of the highest and greatest good for you. And now we're going to start to see this access give us an opportunity to establish the me, Aries, and how that affects the we. And so we bring this into more balance. I think this is a super exciting time. I know that as we walk through the demolition of the old structures, it's a little bit dusty and a little bit unnerving. We don't know if we're going to find asbestos in the house of our minds, but at the same time, I think the end result will be well worth the efforts that we purport now. And the efforts being to trust ourselves, to trust the universe, to continue to seek higher ground in our thoughts, a broader perspective. That's what the 9th house is going to do for you. Jupiter is going to bring a broader perspective for you. And I think as we move into 2024 and 25, we'll continue to see the old structures erupt. But in the meantime, we're going to start to see new structures be born. And the vision of what the Aquarian age has to offer will become more tangible to us. So keep your eye on the prize. Be intentional if you can about what you want to experience versus the journey to get there. Because what I think a lot of this will be about for Virgo is learning how to trust inspired action versus just moving your story or moving your body forward, trying to move your story forward. Okay, hope that made sense. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer. I hope you will join me Sunday mornings live at 11 a.m. Pacific time for our angel scopes. That's where the angels give us advice for traversing the astrological transits of the week ahead. I will also be producing more content, so I hope you'll like, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell so you know when stuff comes out. All right, Virgo, I'll see you soon. Peace.